All right. So I'm really around like 10 to 12K a month right now, but 15K just sounded a lot better, looked better in the title. So it's been about a year, a little over a year since like actually starting online business, and I wish I had somebody to tell me some of these things that I'm getting ready to talk about. So, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of run through a couple of things that would have helped me when I was a beginner, when I was just now getting started, because the beginning is genuinely the hardest part, biggest learning curve. So, um, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six. I have six different things. Number one, I believe it's very important to have a very clear goal. Be very clear, be very intent on where you want to get to. So, for example, for me, it was just like I want to get to 10K a month completely online. That was my very clear and intentional goal. So I think that's number one. May seem obvious. Number two, now this one, number two is huge. Normalize the doubts, anxiety, and limiting beliefs. When you're starting anything new, you don't know what you're doing, so you have to go through a period of time where you are shit, but that period is necessary because that is where you learn, right? So in the beginning, on a day-to-day basis, like, some people don't have this, but for me, I was anxious, I had doubts, I had limiting beliefs, I didn't know if this shit was going to work, and sometimes it was very, very overwhelming. But now that I'm, somewhat successful, um, I wouldn't even say successful, but now that I'm kind of have proof of concept, I realize that I was supposed to be feeling that way. Like, obviously, I'm gonna be doubting it. I'm gonna have a little bit of anxiety because I'm not making any money. The first 7 months I was not making any money at all. So it's not, being an entrepreneur is not a certain path, right? So you have to normalize the doubts, the anxiety, limiting beliefs, like those. That's just a pill that entrepreneurs have to swallow. You have to keep working through that on a day-to-day basis. So that's number two. Number three, curate your vision to who you want to be. So not to sound all woo-woo, but uh, something that I did that I think helped me a lot is I paid very, very close attention to the people that were exactly where I wanted to be, right? So young guys my age that were making money online, that were living, in, big cities, that had a good friend group of entrepreneurs. Like, I paid very close attention to them and what they did on a day-to-day basis, and that's what I did, right? So as I watched other people grow as entrepreneurs, me, even though I was a beginner, I was growing with them. And I was very intentional with this. Like, on my Instagram, I muted everybody who was not an entrepreneur. Like, if I follow you right now and you're not an entrepreneur, you're not someone that, I strive to be like, your story is muted. Obviously not because I don't like you. It's just like I just wanted to be very intentional about the things that I was seeing on a day-to-day basis, and I think that really helped me. So that's number three. Number four, have non-negotiables to follow every single day. So as an entrepreneur, or whatever you want to call it, making money online, again, you have to have things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis no matter what, right? Because the motivation in the beginning, after seeing a 3 a.m. video, after seeing some rich kid online, like, that's not something that is going to last. Like, 4 months, 5 months, a year, like, you're not going to be motivated the entire time. So you have to commit to following a plan on a day-to-day basis, and that plan has to come from the person that you already want to be, right? So from that guy, that millionaire, that dude that's making 10K a month online, whoever it is that you want to be, what have they been doing on a day-to-day basis for the past years to get up to that point? Is it eating healthy? Is it going to the gym? Is it working on their business first thing in the morning? Just have like three, four, five non-negotiables to do every single day that align with that person that you want to be. So it's number four. Number five, invest into learning from people that are where you want to be. Now, 2024, I was fucking broke the whole time. Like, every once in a while, I had like a couple $1,000s, but for the most part, I was extremely broke because all of my money went into investing into higher income skills, right? if you're anything like me, I dropped out of college, I dropped out of school, so I was legit just working a minimum wage job. Now, again, all that money was put into learning, mentors, courses, just everything. Like, why, if you want to make money online, right? You want to develop high income skills. Why would you be saving money? Like, if you need to save money to pay rent and eat food, like, that's one thing. But I mean, you need to be learning. Like, you need to be learning. You need to be investing into people that already have the skills that you want, because that money in your bank account, or those clothes or that jewelry, whatever the hell, like, that is not going to get you to that goal. Learning, investing into people, investing in the skills, that is what's going to get you there. Now, a lot of people are kind of skeptical around like courses, this and that. Just invest into yourself. Me personally, I've bought bad courses, I've bought cheap courses, I've bought expensive courses, but everything compound over time, right? And then just to touch on that a little more, the most recent course that I bought, it was $2,000. I split it up into $500 payments. This was a sales and marketing course. I paid $500 for that course. 2 months later, I made $15,000 in 1 month. And since then, which was January, I've not made under 10K since. Now, the reason that that worked so well for me is because I had already invested into so many courses prior that I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew the process, and I was able to find somebody who was starting up, a mentorship program very, very early, because I had spent a full year curating my vision towards this entire space. So I hope that makes sense. I'm yapping, but that is going to be number 5, I think. Yes, invest into learning from people that are, yeah, yeah. Okay, and then number 6 is just be patient. Um, Not to sound cliche, but you have to be patient, right? I used to think that, I was just gonna get it in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and that's just not the case. You don't know when it's going to come. Don't sit here and say like, oh, in 1 year I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be, excuse me. But point is like, be patient. You don't know when it's going to come, and it's like, for example, if you sit here and say, oh, in 1 year I'll be making 10, 20, 30K a month, what happens if you don't hit that in a year? You know what I mean? Are you just going to stop, or are you going to keep going? Um, Point I'm saying, I don't think it's bad to have goals like that you have a time limit on, but just be patient. Like, genuinely. I used to beat myself up because, I would go hard for a couple of months and I still wouldn't be making any money, but I don't deserve it yet. I'm not the type of person that, can handle the type of money only 2, 3, 4 months in. So you just have to be patient. You just have to let God work. I'm a person who believes in God, and I think when you get the money is when you're supposed to have it. So just be patient, and all you can do is work on a day-to-day basis. So that's really all you need to worry about. Just be patient, work, you know, feel the limiting beliefs, but understand that that is normal, and yeah, really just keep getting after it. So that is my advice. Yeah, that is what I would tell myself if I was starting over. That's honestly what I would just tell. I think my path was perfect. Like, I think everything happened for a reason. But if I could tell anyone who's getting into this online space that, wants to do this, wants to make money online and do all this stuff, like, I would tell them to normalize these things and, kind of obtain some of these habits, because it'll make it a little easier. So, yeah, that's it.